Hello and welcome, this is Askar Sherlief with the latest news from Kazakhstan. Poorly kept explosive caused the deaths of 3 miners of Kazakhmys Corporation on Sunday. The accident occurred at the mine Stepnoy near the town of Satpaev, where 2 welders and a metal worker were fixing a crusher in one of the pits. Specialists say the tragedy is a direct result of violation of safety regulations.
The explosion, which killed 3 persons in Stepnoy minefield of the Karaganda region, may have been caused by the mistake of the Kazakhmys Corporation. This preliminary finding was made by representatives of the Regional Emergency Department, who said that explosives used for exploration were maintained improperly. Apparently, they were stored near the area of welding works, all other versions rejected by the authorities.
There's no methane in this mine, so it could not have caused the explosion. Thus, the combustion could have been caused only with explosives brought to the area.
Representatives of a local labor union is confident that the accident is a result of an employee's negligence. Workers are forced to violate security measures to fulfill the plan on time. Meanwhile, the corporation does not have its own version of the tragedy, waiting for official conclusions, which according to the law must be made within 10 days.
The staff of the Kazakhmys mourns over the tragedy and expresses condolences to the families and friends of the victims.
The employees claim they are rendering financial assistance to victims' families. In the meantime, the Satpaev police has initiated a criminal case against the corporation on charge of violating the safety instructions at the work site.
Russia has banned the export of meat and other animal products from Kazakhstan due to the outbreak of foot-and-mouth disease in the Akmoly region. Meanwhile, the senior infection experts of the Russian Medical and Biological Agency Vladimir Nikiforov said there is no reason for Kazakh citizens to be concerned about possible epidemic.
According to the infection disease doctor, separate cases of anthrax are found in Russia as well. But timely diagnosis and vaccination prevents the disease to spread out to epidemic proportions. At the same time, in some areas of Central Asia where the Quran prohibits the autopsy of the dead, it can be difficult to timely learn about the causes. The Quran prohibits the autopsy in Central Asia, and this science is not well developed. Last year we had 24 cases, this year just 1. There is no threat of anthrax epidemic, and it is unlikely that people will be infected either.
In the meantime, the meat of sick cattle caused another outbreak, this time anthrax, in the northeast of Kazakhstan. 1 person is reported dead and 4 others hospitalized. Doctors say that the number of patients may increase. Sanitary and epidemiology representatives blame local veterinarians in the accident.
The anthrax outbreak registered in the Pavlodar region of Kazakhstan has killed 1, with 4 others hospitalized.
The condition of 2 patients was extremely poor as they suffered clinic septic form of anthrax, while a 40-year-old patient died. An infected woman is still in the resuscitation.
10 days ago, a Karakol village resident slaughtered a calf. The very next day he felt sick but did not go to a hospital. On Sunday he passed away. It was revealed that the infected meat was sold in 2 different villages. The sanitary and epidemiology specialists confiscated and destroyed 38 kilos of the infected beef and found 80 persons linked with the poisonous product. The local veterinarians are blamed for the outbreak.
One farmer lost 5 of his cattle since the end of May and until June 11th. However, he didn't call for veterinary service. No one was in charge of the situation before people got infected.
In response, veterinarians say that the last time Karakol experienced an anthrax outbreak was in 1967. The bacteria may survive up to 100 years underground, thus the emergency could have happened at any moment. In addition, because of the authorities' negligence, the regular vaccinations were not conducted this year on time.
This year the vaccination was done a little late and didn't cover 100% of the cattle, although by now we have completely finished it.
Anthrax is an extreme infection which can be transferred from animals to man. The first symptoms include fever and sores. Doctors alert that the number of infected people may rise. The quarantine in 2 villages prohibits taking meat and milk products out of the settlements.
In Astana, the court has announced the preliminary sentence on the case of statisticians. The prosecutor is asking for 23 years of imprisonment and confiscation of property for all 3 convicted. On June 21st, the trial has finally reached the final stage in the infamous case.
The prosecutor asked for 10 years in the minimum security prison and confiscation of property for businessman Serik Turjanov. The vice president of the Chamber of Commerce of Kazakhstan is accused of failing two major space projects. He's also incriminated with the embezzlement of state assets during the 2009 census campaign. Deputy chairman of the Statistics Agency are also charged with the same crimes.
The previously asked sentence should be left intact. The time they served in custody should be counted as part of the term. The petition of the Statistics Agency shall be satisfied in full by recovering the amount in question from the defendants.
The Statistics Agency seeks to recover $4 million of pocketed dollars. However, the office representatives asked to prosecute additional 4 employees of the agency involved in the census campaign.
The court should recognize the actions of Khasenova, Aydarbekova, Atkazhanova and Kochan as corrupt offenses. The civil service agency should conduct a disciplinary investigation of the C4 category, signed the head of the department.
Representatives of Kazcosmos filed a petition requesting special agencies of Kazakhstan and Russia to initiate additional investigations. The officials said that Kazcosmos' contract with Russia to create the space rocket complex Ishim was failed by the Kazakh Minister of Industry and Trade, while the allocated finances disappeared altogether.
Due to this, a joint investigation of the activities within the Trade and Industry Ministry is required, as this state body was responsible for the fulfillment of the first contract.
At the same time, Turjanov, well known for his sharp criticism of the authorities, insists he is innocent and claims that the case is politicized. His lawyers will address the court on June 22.
Meanwhile, representatives of the judicial system say that the current constitution of the country is close to perfection. The Constitutional Council has analyzed how the document was implemented in the last 15 years and reported the results to the parliament. Apparently, even the norms of the law on the leader of nation do not contradict the constitution. At the same time, public activists offer more appropriate ways to immortalize the first president of the country.
Igor Rogov noted that Kazakhstan has quickly become a prospering and effective state, with key values being men, their lives, rights and freedoms. The country's constitution is also improving. In the last 15 years, the parliament has adopted 1,700 laws, and only 25 of them had shortcomings. The inviolability of the constitution remains strong for the most part. Even the granting of the nation's leader status to Nazarbayev was perceived as something natural in the constitutional context.
As a leader of the Constitutional Court, I have no right to give my assessment on the constitutionality of any acts that were not reviewed by the Council. As a lawyer, I believe that adopting this law was the legal formalization of the political reality in Kazakhstan.
Kamaluddin Dulatov, the leader of the Kazakh Khandy Republic Foundation, is sure that the bureaucratic nuances are not important in their leadership issue, as they may only confuse people. Making something obvious a law is apparently vulgar, unlike raising golden statues, which is just the right type of a present to a real Khan.
Nazarbayev has been a leader of the nation for already 20 years. Why legitimate it? It shouldn't have been done. This is a sign of transitioning to monarchy, so to say. We held service and asked villagers, what is the nation's leader? No one has a clue, but we insist to think about the answer to the question. People say, well, it is a Khan. I guess they're right.
Technical gold is going to be used for the statue, which will altogether cost $340,000. As the foundation leader claims, there are many people who are ready to sponsor the project. The location has been already selected. The monument will replace a replica of a plane erected in honor of the World War II pilots. In any case, the Constitution of Kazakhstan may be the highest instance of law, but apparently everything depends on the person in charge of it.
Ekaterina Beляева, a reporter of the independent newspaper Vzгляд The View, was detained in Almaty for attempting to display a poster that said, "President, give us back the constitution."
This is not the first action of Ekaterina Beляева. In August last year, she went to the downtown Almaty carrying a poster, "I'm against legal prostitution." Back then, the woman avoided arrests. I believe police should not have applied force even if they saw some administrative violation. Instead, they could have filed a protocol on the spot. To be honest, if I were her, I would have just spoken up without any posters. If she would just stand there, everyone would have understood why she was doing that. Then the police would not have any reason to arrest her. It is important freedom to protest, but the authorities really hate posters. They think it is dangerous. She could have done it without posters, and this is all would have been avoided. In any case, she should have been given a chance to speak out. Maybe then there could have been a precedent. Otherwise, she was detained for simply walking around with a piece of paper, which is wrong. It is simply not fair for the citizens of Kazakhstan.